CUNY TV, we are now in public session. Okay,
Recording
members of
in
the Board
progress.
of Trustees Committee on Facilities Planning and Management, please respond present when you hear your name. And I just have to, I forgot to put the transcript on. So bear with me a minute, you guys. Okay. Chairperson Brian Oberfeld,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Sandra Wilkin,
Present.
great. Trustee Arvanites, not yet. Trustee Ferrer, not yet. Trustee Myra Linares Garcia, not yet. Okay. Professor Jason Young, welcome. It's good to
Present.
see you. Professor Akome, the faculty alternate. The student rep is Salamatu Dumbuya, but I don't see him. And then Saif Alam, the student alternate.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so we have a quorum. This public meeting of the Committee on Facilities Planning and Management is now called to order pursuant to New York State Legislature's recent extension of the suspension of required in-person meetings under the Open Meetings Law. This meeting is being held remotely via video conference with access to the public session available on the CUNY Board of Trustees website. A copy of the calendar and agenda of items is also available online at the CUNY Board of Trustees website. Additional items may be added during the meeting. And as a reminder, please mute so we can ensure that everyone can hear. I will now take a roll call attendance for members of the Chancellery. Members of the Chancellery, please respond present when you hear your name. Chancellor Matos Rodriguez.
Present.
General Counsel and Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs, Derek Davis.
Present.
Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer, Hector Batista.
Presente.
Vice Chancellor Mohammed Atala.
Present.
Gustavo Ordonez, the Associate General Counsel and Chief of Staff.
Present.
Scott Burrell, University Executive Deputy Facilities and General Counsel of CUCF.
Present.
Ali Vedivars, the Deputy Executive Director of Design and Construction and Management.
Present.
And Tria Case, the University Executive Director of Sustainability and Energy Conservation.
Present.
Great. And President Bernicia Johnson-Eanes, who's the COPS liaison. I think I saw you.
Present.
Great.
Thank you, Gail. Now let's turn to the items requiring a vote today. Given that all board members are participating remotely via Zoom and we cannot see one another, I will announce the resolutions and ask for members to respond only if you would like to abstain or oppose an item. Otherwise, your vote will be recorded as a yes vote. If you are voting no or abstaining, please state your name and vote. Additionally, if you wish to second an item or have any questions, please state your name first for the record, and let's try to avoid speaking over one another. Action items. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the January 10th, 2022 meeting. I move the approval of action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Wilkins, second.
Thank you, Sandra. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Hearing no objections or abstentions, motion carries unanimously. I would now like to address action item 1B1, the policy calendar. Policy item 1B1 is a resolution to request City University Construction Fund to contract for software, technical support, and subscription services for the PM Web project management system. I now call on Vice Chancellor Mohammed Atala to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
As part of our last meeting, I spoke to the committee about the university's activities that are being undertaken to strengthen the capacity of the facilities team to undertake projects in a more of an effective and efficient approach. We brought resolutions moving the team into this direction. As part of this effort, the team does not currently have a technology or a software program that supports professional project management services of construction projects. We are bringing this resolution to bring BMWeb as our professional project management software. BMWeb system is a leading project management system with comprehensive feature, functionality, and ease of use. The first phase of the implementation will be used by the facilities management team to manage projects effectively, addressing budget management, schedule management, procurement, and communication. It will enable more efficient and effective project tracking and management at multiple scale, from the individual projects to Canvas to the overall portfolio. The system will start integration with other key systems such as the DASNY system in order to strengthen reporting capabilities and the integration of the major project management functions, as we mentioned, budget, schedule, and procurement. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. I move the approval of policy item 1B1. Do I have a second?
Wilkins seconds.
Thank you, Sandra. Any discussion? Okay, we will now vote. Please only respond if you would like to abstain or oppose. Okay, hearing none carries unanimously. We will now turn to the informational items. Informational item 2A is a presentation on Community College's 5-year energy master plan and energy program. I now call on Vice Chancellor Mohammed Atalia to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I thank you, Gail, for giving me sharing rights. I have now shared my screen. Is everyone sees my screen?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. So we're bringing a presentation to share with the committee the efforts that have been implemented by the facilities management team, the energy and conservation and sustainability team towards achieving our energy efficiency. So we will present previous efforts and the current plan moving forward with our 5-year capital plan to meet our target local law 97. So through the agenda, we'll speak about our efforts in renewable energy, such as electrical vehicles, storage, and solar. And we'll also speak about our demand response efforts over all the 25 campuses, our O&M program. And then we'll move to some presentation on the energy master plan for the community colleges that we have implemented, as well as our future effort with the senior colleges. So on the renewable energy front, our sustainable CUNY team has been working on different initiatives. And one of them, the Smart Distributed Generation Hub that leads integration and pathways within the New York City. So the team has been working as a resource and partnering with different industries, government organizations, utility authorities, and the stakeholders to drive the market through grants, research, and projects implementation. The CUNY DG as well develops tools and resources and provide technical assistance to community and stakeholders organizations in this regard. One of the activities is also the development of the solar farm map, which is an integrated effort between our energy conservation and sustainability team, working with colleagues and researchers on campus here. So there have been collaboration with the Geographical Information System researchers and also with the High Performance Computing Center at the College of Staten Island to develop this program, which provide individualized solar data for energy for every property in the state of New York. And it's a resource that support both solar and the storage market. And as we know now, New York City is the fastest growing urban market, and New York State is now ranked 4th in the country for solar jobs. So this program and this effort is very well appreciated with the state and our colleagues and organizations. A study was performed on the solar potential in all of the 25 campuses of CUNY. And based on the study, we do have about 22 megawatt of solar energy as a potential. And that is divided between community college and senior colleges. It's about 5.58 megawatt for community colleges and about 16.5 megawatt for senior colleges. And that is mostly focused on parking lot areas and rooftop that are suitable for such partnership and such implementations. We have a picture here of one successful implementation that had 300 kilowatt at Borough of Manhattan Community College. As well, I wish to report that we issued an RFP for a P3 implementation of solar at Lehman College, and we received very good interest, and the submissions are being reviewed right now for the Lehman project. One other activity and collaboration between our team and researchers on campus is the electrical vehicle and storage. And this is really one of the most progressive and advanced technologies in renewable energy and energy storage that is helping reducing energy consumption and also dealing with the demand issues and the grid peaks. So that's an 800,000 demonstration project at Queens, where our team partnered with researchers at Queens College with a vendor, and it was supported by fund from the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, NYSERDA. And it's a new innovative vehicle-to-grid project that looks at charge pass to a broader scale vehicle-to-grid integration. And what happened here, this particular technology is bidirectional, meaning that it would charge the vehicle. However, it could also put the electricity back to the grid or to the college through the stored energy in the vehicle. And there are 6 of those are being planned for Queens College as a demonstration. And when successful, that will be part of our plans to roll it through other campuses. Geothermal is another new technology, renewable technology that is being implemented and encouraged in the state of New York. Our team is planning to look at developing a plan for the potential and also incorporated geothermal in our future projects. Green energy and wind training, we have received about $10 million fund from the New York State, and our team worked collaboratively with the Office of the University Dean of the Industry and Talent Partnership to work with our different campuses to look at both operation and capital investment to deliver those programs to advance knowledge and training and research on green energy and wind training. And currently we have top proposals, about 10 being reviewed, and work will be awarded and proceed very soon. Demand response is one of the successful activities that our team have been working with all campuses and responding to the New York City in incentive programs. And our team worked successfully with all campuses to utilize these savings and work with Con Edison to respond to the program called demand response. And in 2020, the demand response revenue through all campuses was about $1.2 million. And since the inception of this program, total revenues has been over $6 million. And we see on the screen here a sample at York College, where we see that was the consumption. And as the demand response event happens, the team at York College was successful to take it even way below the target. That was the target was about 1,200 kilowatt, but the team was quite successful. And that happens at multiple campuses on CUNY campuses. Overall, this slide provides an overall picture since 2006. Reduction was about 22%, going down to slightly over 200 GHG emission, the 203 tons of CO2 equivalent. Our operation and maintenance program works on different dimensions. Around building automation system, operation support, preventive maintenance, training, analysis and planning, and that aims at again energy reduction and protect our investments and reduce our emission, and that's another one of our programs. Total investments working with DCAS, the Department of Citywide Administrative Services. The team was successful to obtain about $45 million worth of funding and investment in energy conservation in the last 6 years. Now moving to the 5-year energy master plan with utilizing funding from DCAS. The team engaged a consultant, worked with different, with all the campuses and our capital team to develop the plan. The goal of the plan here is to create efficiency and create efficient, practical, and cost-effective energy management plan to achieve the goals of LL97. The goal of Local Law 97 is to achieve 40% of greenhouse gases reduction from the 2006 baseline by the year 2026. And this is what our team is working on. And as you see, this is just a demonstration. It is not really to scale, but we're looking at operational capital and renewable activities in order to achieve the 40% reduction from our 2006 baseline. The methodology followed a comprehensive methodology looking at information gathering, document collection, consolidate and categorize information, evaluate activities, projects, and look at overlap, consider project planning and funding levels, and moving forward with the identification of a list of projects and initiatives that will help us to achieve and move towards that goal. This screen shows the database that is used to track the projects and initiatives and their implementation and their contribution to the plan as we move forward. Our systems and our planning methodologies, we looked at every concept and every aspect that potentially could help the university save energy cost and reduce our energy consumption and hence our greenhouse gases. So we look at building envelope, we look at heat, ventilation, and air conditioning, even our new construction, new capital work. We consider the most efficient and top-notch technologies to be incorporated in our new buildings or in our renewable efforts, renewable energy, building automation systems, lighting, and retro commissioning. The goal, as I mentioned, is to achieve or to go down from almost about 56 metric tons of CO2 equivalent down to 40.8 metric tons of CO2 equivalent. And the graph shows the history of the reduction, and this is where we are looking at those activities in the next 4 or 5 years to be able to go below the target. I will share with you with the next few slides some of the thinking and the planning efforts. So the team has identified a group of projects and initiatives, as lighting is taking the larger share of it, working on our lighting system, followed by building automation system efforts, and HVAC and HVAC investments, retro commissioning, and building envelopes, with a total potential investment of about $265 million. So that's what we are planning, and that's what we will go out to submit grants and work with DCAS and other agencies in order to secure this funding and proceed with our project. A little bit of a breakdown of details from the previous pie chart. In here, we're looking at the retro commissioning and retro commissioning effort. We're looking at about $24 million of investment, and likely funding is going through the Excel program, which is the expenses for conservation and efficiency leadership. So we will go after this program. Also, we're looking at other capital work, which is the, as I mentioned earlier, $93 million in lighting, 13.4 HVAC, and 72 building automation system, and that's another funding will be seeking in this direction. The other capital projects will be funded through the allocated capital to the facilities team. We're looking at $62 million here, mostly in the HVAC. This is boilers, chillers, air handling units, and so on. In addition to building envelopes activities that primarily roofing, windows, and exterior closure, and that this investment will be allocated from our capital funds that come to the board for as part of our capital plan. These are the execution strategies, as I said earlier. This slide provides an overall picture of how we are going to achieve the 15.5 metric ton of CO2 equivalent. That's our target. Some of it that we have funding for already, and some of funding that we will be seeking, as I mentioned earlier. This next slide provides a sample of projects. So this is not all the projects that we have. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a database that has the overall list of projects and initiatives to be implemented. These are sample of projects for lighting strategies to be performed at different community colleges, building automation system strategies at LaGuardia and BMCC and BCC. Also retro commissioning strategy at some of our projects laid out per year. HVAC strategy as well. This is a heavier type of projects, as I mentioned earlier: boiler, air handling units, power plants. In this slide, we're showing the overall picture of the program. Currently, this is our greenhouse gases in the community colleges, about 56.1 metric ton, almost do nothing in this column here. Will continue to be at 56.1. The target is to achieve 40.6 metric ton of CO2 equivalent. And this is how we're proposing through the plan, how we move forward to achieve this target and comply with local law 97. Next step for senior colleges. We have been talking about community colleges, senior colleges. Overall, so far, we have achieved about 18%. We are initiating another energy master plan for senior colleges and working with DASNY to obtain consultant bids and to compile previous studies in order to move forward and to develop the plan. And thank you very much. That will conclude my presentation.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. Any questions, comments, or concerns for the Vice Chancellor?
Mohammed, the only thing that,
Yes, go
just want to, no, I think the only thing that I think is important to note, and I think Mohammed, if you could share, is why all this is so important is that CUNY is mandated by the state to meet a certain by the year 2025, I think it's 35%, right? So all the work that we're doing here is to get us towards that goal, state and city. But Mohammed, I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that, but I think that's.
Well, that is correct. I believe at different levels of the government, in addition, like the city, the state, and even the federal government, we do have the mandates and encouraging energy conservations. And as I mentioned, Local Law 97 is a law that CUNY need to comply with to achieve those reductions of 40% of greenhouse gases by the year 2026. So this is why this work is very important, and we have undertaken this study, and we had a breakdown and a schedule and a plan in terms of both potential cash flow and the implementation of projects in order to be able to achieve this. And obviously, in addition, without saying, even without the laws that is really asking us to do that, we as a CUNY community, we are assuming an environmental stewardship and a leadership in really driving the community, the state, towards conservation initiatives and goals. And we are very fortunate that we work in this higher education institution where we have researchers and students and professors who really believe in this cause, and we're all working collaboratively to achieve this goal.
Let me, if I can precisely, I was going to go to that last point that Mohammed made, and I want to congratulate his team because it's been always a dedicated team of colleagues there who've had environmental issues front and center, are always looking for opportunities in our campuses to be able to not just be in compliance with laws and regulations, but also to be advancing that agenda. But I also know that they have found, as Vice Chancellor Atala sort of mentioned, great collaboration with faculty and students and many others in our campuses in the system who believe in the importance of this work. And I can give testament, for example, of the collaboration on the battery energy saving project at Queens College, right? How that was a result of working with the campus, but knowing that the central office team was always waiting for partner and always looking for opportunities, right? And each side always collaborating. So I think that this is a great example of what we can achieve when all the components of the system are working together towards some goals. And so kudos to the team. More to be done as we come out of hopefully pandemic mode, and then also we should continue to work with our communications team to let people know some of the things that we're doing at CUNY on this front, because it's important that it is known, and then also it attracts additional resources for us to continue to do this important work. So my congratulations to the entire team.
Okay, any other questions or concerns or observations? Hearing none, with no more items, I move to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second? Please.
Wilkins seconds, and thanks the efforts that we see today as we move this initiative that's so important to not only CUNY and New York, and for the country, of course. So thank you for what you have done here.
Okay.
And
Hearing.
second motion.
Okay, great. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.